Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we have some big updates around the market structure bill, which is the Clarity Act. So here's the headline: US lawmakers to meet with Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs. And despite the government shutdown, we are seeing some progress being made in Congress. In fact, today I interviewed Patrick Witt, who replaced Bo Hines as the White House crypto advisor. And he talked about the progress being made with the meeting of Democrat and Republican leaders to get this bill pushed forward. So he's optimistic that it will pass sooner than later. But let me give you some details here from the article. Discussions over the digital asset market structure bill currently being considered in the US Senate are reportedly still happening amid the longest government shutdown in the country's history. According to a Tuesday Political report, Republican Senator John Boozman with the Senate Agricultural Committee, one of the committees that will need to approve the bill before consideration in the full chamber, will discuss the market structure legislation with White House crypto and AI czar David Sachs and Democratic Senator Cory Booker. The reported call will come as lawmakers prepare to finalize a discussion draft of the bill. The market structure bill is expected to be one of the most significant pieces of legislation affecting the crypto industry to come out of the current session of Congress. So, folks, we're seeing progress here. Obviously, government moves slow, but what we want to see is progress and not have this bill get stalled. Even if it ends up passing and going to President Trump's desk for signature in Q1 of 2026, that's fine, as long as the ball keeps rolling here. And I'm hearing some good things. Once again, I spoke to Patrick Witt today at SmartCon, Chainlink SmartCon. I did an interview with him and I heard some good things. And even from other folks who are doing advocacy and policy work in DC, educating lawmakers and so forth. And they're all saying there's progress here. So people are optimistic. And once again, it may not happen by December just because with this government shutdown, it doesn't help things at all. But look, there's just still a chance, but most likely, I think the higher probability is this passing in Q1. What's interesting is that President Trump was giving a speech today, and he doubled down on crypto and that he wants to make the United States a leader in crypto. And some of the statements he made was, crypto takes a lot of pressure off the dollar. It does a lot of good things. We're making the U.S. the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world. And Senator Cynthia Lummis, who's a big advocate for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, she retweeted that and said SBR is the way. So hopefully we can get that strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's the harder sell, like I've been saying. Just taking the Bitcoin they've confiscated over the years, the US government that is, and forming the Bitcoin reserve is the easy part. The hard part is finding the capital to buy the assets from an ongoing basis. So I don't know if that happens this cycle, maybe the next cycle, because that's a very hard sell to Congress unless the United States finds a revenue neutral way, such as maybe using tariff revenue. But who knows? Because even the tariff situation is up for vote in the Supreme Court. So there are a lot of hoops to jump through here before we can get to the buying aspect. But look, glad to see things are moving ahead. The dialogue's happening. That's what we want to see. Now, today we got some incredibly bullish news around Ripple and XRP. So look at this. Ripple said, we're collaborating with MasterCard, WebBank, and Gemini to introduce RLUSD settlement, that's Ripple stablecoin, on the XRP ledger for fiat credit card payments, starting with the Gemini XRP credit card. So, you have a lot of futzsters out there who say no one will ever use XRP or the XRP ledger. And we see those FUD statements are being put to bed. And if you go to rwa.xyz, you see XRP ledger is currently number 10 with the amount of building that's happening on it. So the data and the facts don't lie here. So they continued here saying this initiative sets a new benchmark for institutional efficiency, enabling faster, compliant, and more transparent settlement within the traditional finance. The future of payments is here. So big partners getting involved here with Ripple and the XRP ledger being leveraged here. So this is a very positive sign. Now, the other big news, which I think signals to Ripple potentially doing an IPO maybe in 2026, the folks at Ripple said, we have closed a $500 million strategic investment at a $40 billion valuation led by Fortress Investment Group and Citadel Securities. Big names. folks, especially Citadel. So they gave some highlights about the company, saying $95 billion plus in total Ripple payment volume, $1 billion plus RLUSD stablecoin market cap, 6 strategic acquisitions completed in just over 2 years. So they've been very aggressive with the acquisition. So again, this all makes me think an IPO is coming at some point. They said here 25% of shares repurchased, 3x growth in Ripple Prime business, 75 regulatory licenses globally. So things are growing for Ripple and the XRP ledger. So this is a big investment. Now, what's interesting, Dan Tapiero, who heads up Pantera Capital, and if you guys remember, I interviewed him years ago, and I hope to have him back on soon. But Dan is an OG in this crypto market. His fund was like the first, if I'm not mistaken, to invest in Bitcoin. He was so early, ahead of all the other VCs and hedge funds, and he participated in this. So he says, we're very excited to participate in Ripple's $500 million strategic round alongside names like Fortress Investment Group and Citadel Securities. It's been a long and exciting journey since we first invested in Ripple out of Venture Fund 1, the very first blockchain venture investment by Pantera Capital. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, attended our 2015 summit, a small gathering at my home in Lake Tahoe with OGs like Jesse Powell, Eric Voorhees, and Gavin Andreessen. 10 years later, Brad and I reconvened at Pantera Blockchain Summit 2025 at the Plaza in New York City. We reminisced about the journey and where Ripple is heading. So to see guys like Dan Moorhead doubling down, investing in Ripple is very bullish because Dan is not a maxi. Dan is not tribal. Dan is looking to make money. And he was very early to Bitcoin and investing in other projects and now doubling down on Ripple. And even Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse highlighted this and also highlighted that Galaxy Digital participated and even Brevin Howard. So some very big names here, folks. This is a big signal. And, he said this investment isn't just a validation of Ripple's growth strategy and business built on the foundation of XRP, but also a clear bet on what the future of crypto will look like. I'm very proud of what we built and all that's to come. So huge news here, big investments. And like I said, I think IPO is coming in 2026. It's in alignment with all of the other IPOs that have happened this year and that are planned, right? We've heard about Securitize, BitGo, even Kraken Exchange, and some others as well. So huge news. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital gives you an awesome way to invest in crypto assets and to custody your crypto assets. So you can do it via a self-directed IRA and you can get the tax benefits. You can roll over your existing IRA and your existing 401k to iTrust Capital and you can trade 24/7. They have 80 plus crypto assets. It's low cost. There are no monthly fees. And once again, huge tax benefits here. In addition, they have a premium custody account. And this is tier 1 custody, guys. They use Coinbase Prime, Fireblocks, Fidelity Digital Assets. So they're using what the institutions are using out there. BlackRock uses Coinbase Prime as well. So they give you some amazing options here to secure your crypto and to trade. And in addition to crypto, you can also trade precious metals like gold and silver and so forth. So lots of unique benefits being offered by iTrust Capital. So I have an account with them. And guys, if you sign up with my link, you can get a $100 funding bonus. So check out iTrust Capital. This is a great alternative, once again, to invest in crypto and as well as to safely custody your crypto assets because they're using institutional level grade crypto custody. So check them out. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, we continue to see incredible news around Chainlink. Many of you know I'm very bullish on Chainlink. I hold it in my portfolio. I've been at Chainlink's SmartCon event over the past 2 days doing interviews. So Chainlink Apex Group tests on-chain stablecoin compliance with Bermuda regulator. So Chainlink and Apex Group piloted a blockchain system with Bermuda's regulator to enforce stablecoin rules on chain using Chainlink's proof of reserve and automated compliance engine. The system provides regulators with real-time visibility into a stablecoin's backing and circulation, automating compliance checks on chain. The project supports Chainlink's push for institutional adoption of tokenized assets building on the Chainlink runtime environment used by banks like JP Morgan and UBS. Guys, not financial advice, but I think Chainlink's going to be one of the biggest winners coming out of this industry. I'm seeing TradFi, crypto native firms, and other blockchain projects leveraging Chainlink services, whether it be the oracles or whatever it may be. It's incredible what's happening and the adoption this technology is getting. So, very bullish on Chainlink. Okay, moving ahead. Franklin Templeton, one of the biggest Wall Street names, of course, brings tokenized USD money market fund to Hong Kong. So we're seeing the tokenization race heat up here among these Wall Street firms, and they're expanding it globally, right? So that's part of the benefits of tokenizing. You can open your assets, things that you're issuing to a global market and get more liquidity. So it's creating truly global market, like I've been saying for a long time. So, according to a statement shared with Cointelegraph on Wednesday, the Franklin On-Chain US Government Money Market Fund is the first end-to-end tokenized structure by an asset manager to integrate issuance, distribution, and servicing directly on-chain in Hong Kong. The tokenized fund will be initially available only to institutional and professional investors. It is registered in Luxembourg under a regulated framework that allows investment funds to be sold across the European Union. The fund uses Franklin Templeton's proprietary blockchain record keeping system while seeking to provide income and preserve capital through investments in short term US government treasuries. Guys, it is amazing what's happening. And, people are bearish out there, right? You look at the sentiment, it's an extreme fear. And I'm looking at this and like, man, they're building the infrastructure. Prices will eventually follow. We know markets do follow liquidity. So you have some headwinds with the tariff stuff and the government shutdown. But I don't think this bull market's over. Look, I could be wrong, right? But I don't think it's over. And I'm seeing incredible adoption by the TradFi institutions. Now, look at this. CMT Digital secures $136 million to back the next wave of blockchain startups. So the Chicago-based crypto venture company has already invested part of its new $136 million fund in stablecoin startups as blockchain VC activity slows in 2025. So we're still seeing a lot of liquidity and capital coming in. Folks are looking to take their bets on crypto. And this is, of course, a very great sign. People are bullish, optimistic about the future of crypto, and they're putting their capital in there and expecting a return over time, right? So they see this technology being adopted by TradFi and much more, and the capital's coming in. So I've said many times over the years, if you're an entrepreneur, you got an idea, you want to build something and some sort of application, Web3 application, or whatever it may be, now's the time to go pitch and get your capital and start building. So. It's a great time to be in the industry, even to come work in the industry. Now, look at this news. Self-custody meets KYC. Tangem launches Visa payments with Pyera, if I'm saying that right. So, cryptocurrency wallet company Tangem has launched Tangem Pay, a virtual Visa card connecting directly to the hardware wallet and allowing users to spend stablecoins at millions of merchants worldwide. Now, I've never heard of this wallet. That may not be true. I think I may have heard of them years ago, but I don't know much about them, and I don't think I've seen a lot of headlines with them. But this seems like something very big. So it launched in collaboration with the U.S. payment infrastructure company Pyera. Tangem Pays enables users to deposit and spend Circle's USDC stablecoin on the Polygon network, Tangem said in an announced statement shared with Cointelegraph on Wednesday. Now, I actually interviewed someone from Polygon today, and they're getting a lot of adoption with stablecoins and people using them for payments, and they're on the Ethereum layer too. I am a holder of the Matic token, and I'm still bullish on this project, but great to see the adoption happening here. And again, more infrastructure for people to be able to participate and come on chain and use payments. And look, some of them may not even know they're using blockchain tech or stablecoins because it's running behind the scenes, but this is the future, right? For the masses, the billions of people who, are just trying to go about their day and do their thing. They don't need to know which blockchain and all these things, but just that it moves faster, it settles instantly, it's cheaper, and all the other benefits, of course. All right, we got some Bitcoin treasury news here. So Adam Bax co-founded Switzerland Bitcoin treasury startup Future raises $34.5 million. So it says here this was a strategic round anchored by Vulgar Ventures, Nakamoto, and Tobam, the company announced on Tuesday, branding itself as Switzerland's premier Bitcoin treasury company. Future said in a news release that it will provide multi-signature custody, treasury tools, and advisory services for companies seeking to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. So we're seeing this digital asset treasury movement happening across the globe. And that's a very good sign. And, it's very beneficial for us who are holding the tokens. But the warning I always, or the caveat I always tell people is we got to watch out for the bear market. I don't think a lot of these companies are going to survive. So, hopefully the majority do, right? We would not want to see a lot of collapses because that could be bad, but that's the nature of the markets, the cyclical pattern, bull and the bear can be very bloody, but that's where the opportunity is, right? You can back up the truck and buy the blood on the streets when everybody's scared and then hold for the bull market. So we also got news here to MetaPlanet, which is like the micro strategy of in Japan. So MetaPlanet taps $100 million Bitcoin back loan for BTC purchases and share buyback. So MetaPlanet's been buying a lot of Bitcoin as well. So Tokyo listed Bitcoin treasury company MetaPlanet secured a $100 million Bitcoin-backed loan to purchase additional Bitcoin and repurchase its shares. According to a Tuesday filing, the funds were borrowed on October 31st under a credit agreement that allows the company to secure short-term financing using Bitcoin holdings as collateral. The lender's identity was not disclosed, but the company said the loan carries a benchmark US dollar rate plus a spread and can be repaid at any time. So it's interesting that these companies continue to raise capital to buy Bitcoin. And I think many of them are anticipating we are still in a bull market, that there's going to be continuation in higher prices because it wouldn't be too smart to be buying now if Bitcoin has topped and we're rolling into a bear market. So these are some of the signs I'm looking at, in addition to multiple other factors of why the top is not in, because these guys are not fools and they have room full of analysts that are doing all types of market analysis and much more, looking at the macro and taking their bets. So, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. If you appreciated this content, please support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Folks, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.